All right, this is Smoke Some Podcast, the visionary mind. I see it, I think it, I make it happen. We got my boy Doggy Bone back with me. What's the word?
What's going on, man?
Man, we got a special guest with us today, man. We got an artist, we got a promoter, we got a CEO, man. We got my boy Spiveyson in the building.
What's
up,
going on, everybody? How y'all doing today?
Man,
I go by the name of Spiveyson. I'm an artist repping Kalamazoo, Michigan. I'm also the acting CEO of Chasing Stars Entertainment. I'm here with my publicist Cole. We got the whole crew out here. I got a new album called Heir to the Wounds coming out. So you know we gotta talk about it. I got a whole bunch of cool stuff coming on with our new event, March 7th. So you know we gotta talk about it. I'm with my boys, man. I ain't seen y'all in a good minute. I'm ready to get it in.
I ain't seen them in a minute, man. How life been?
Life been life, man. But you know, keep the mind in motion, the body follows.
Yeah,
So what's up? How about y'all?
Man, it's been great.
Cool.
Great, you feel me?
Cool.
So you said you got a publicist with you, man. So how you doing, man?
How's it going, y'all?
Yourself.
You know, I'm good. I run all of our social media, basically.
Okay.
Any artists that want to affiliate with us, they go through me. You know, I
Okay.
check them out. I like to go find prospect for people, too, if I'm out on the town.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I like getting people connected. That's kind of how I got in this whole movement and stuff.
Okay. So as your job as a publicist, right? What's the hardest part about your job?
Hardest part is making sure that the content we're putting out is consistent and quality.
I fuck with that.
Okay. We can cuss on here, right?
This is an
Say
unfiltered
whatever
show.
you want.
And the dickheads too, man. Cole been going through it.
The fake
Y'all need
followers.
to stop putting my man through so much shit,
Come
bro.
on, y'all. Leave me alone.
You don't even bother. The fucking fake
The
followers.
fake
are
followers,
haunting
bro.
you.
Shout out to them.
Only y'all knew, man.
But no, man. So going back to your beginning, like how did you get into the music space? Where you from, and tell us how you got into this creative space.
Yeah, man. So I'm repping Kalamazoo, Michigan. I was born in Battle Creek, though. So growing up there, you know, grew up on the north side of Battle Creek. I always had a love and passion for music. My father, actually, which is a little bit, that's the first time saying this on a podcast. My father was a rapper who went by the name of Big Spive. He went all the way to Grambling, toured a couple of times in college, had a nice rap group, and made a good run. It's so funny to me because sometimes I feel like this is a continuation of his story. You know, what would happen if he didn't stop? You know, Big Spive, and I'm going by Spiveyson.
Yeah.
You can't really write that type of stuff. And I didn't know these things about my father until I was a grown man. So like, it's literally that. You can't write this stuff sometimes. So then after that, I started making music. You know, we had a passion for rap music growing up, man. My father put me on the rap at its finest, I feel like. You know, Biggie, KRS-One, you know, Eric B, Rakim, DMX. Then I got core memories of him pulling up to pick us up from elementary school, Cadillac blasting the cuts, man. And you know, that I drew to that instantly. But we were in a Christian household, you know. My mom didn't like rap like that. So, you know, I remember we used to, y'all remember a song called Buttons by the Pussycat Dolls? So I used to listen to that song only because it had a Snoop Dogg feature on it. It was an R&B song. I get the loophole because my mom wouldn't say nothing. I could listen to Snoop Dogg and low. So it was always, music has always been a part of me. Rap music, hip hop, it was embedded in us from the jump. For a while, I stopped writing. I started writing music around the 5th or 6th grade, just poems and short stories. I got into acting in the 8th grade, so you know that's where my theatrical side comes from a lot. And then I stopped making music for a little while. Family drama, life happens, and then it was around the time of when I started going to college at Western, hanging out with my dogs. Shout out Western Michigan University. Yeah, appreciate y'all. And then I always shout out in every podcast. I shout out my dogs, Ken Redfield, Eric Stevens. Eric Stevens is DJ Honesty. He's my DJ now for CSC. Ken Redfield is the CFO. He manages all the finances and logistics for CSC now.
Money man.
Yeah, he's my numbers and money man. But they were the two people that helped me get back into music and help me start taking it seriously. And that one trip to South Bend set off a whirlwind of events that just came down like dominoes that led us to joining CSE, all three of us, as friends, and trying to build more community behind our music, you know.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. You know what I like about you shout everybody out. You
I
don't
got
leave
to, man.
Nobody. I'm talking about nobody.
I got to, bro. You know, I'm leading the troop, man, and everybody works so hard, bro.
Yeah, I feel it.
Everybody they don't just work hard. They're talented in their own rights. You know, when I came on, I knew that I know I'm loud and I bring a lot of energy, and I never wanted that to. I like to shine so bright that everybody glows.
Yeah.
I don't want to take away from. I don't want this to be Spivey and then affiliates. Nah,
nah,
man.
for
These is we all bosses here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
No, I
real,
got that
though.
vibe from y'all from the events we didn't bring that together. Where it's
Yeah.
like, especially with Maverick and can't think of other bro names.
And Justo. Yeah,
Yeah,
those, so
yeah.
Maverick and Justo are,
Yeah.
that is our executive circle right there. Me, Justo, Maverick, and Kenny. And then now we add my boy Cole into the mix too to help us kind of legitimize and professionalize everything because that's important for us.
So, all right, what was your first song that you dropped? You was like, damn, this gonna be that.
Ever?
Yeah.
Ever. First song ever. Okay. I have a song called, I did a remix to Young Thug's Offended. Way back when it was a record he did in like 2014. I did a remix to that. And that's what got me cool in high school. We was doing rap battles and that's what gave me good. The first song I recorded was called Retirement in 2020. Yeah, man, y'all couldn't have told me nothing about that song. I thought we was getting out the hood the next day. I'm still in the hood right now.
Still waiting.
That's the way, bro. I learned hard and fast that's the way. I'm still waiting on them residuals.
But no, so like bro was talking about like you give a lot of shout outs and you show a lot of love. Like what part of your family or where does that come from?
The love in me?
Yeah,
You know, that's a real good question. I'll say my love is rooted in faith, especially here recently, you know. One of the main things about my album, when people listen to it, is I've reconnected my relationship with God, you know, and God is love, and love never fails, you know. I always say that to everybody, you know, with everything going on in the world, people really need to realize that love, you know, we were put on this earth to love first, you know, and I feel like once the world goes back to that core emotion and leads with love and everything we do, then some of these problems might seem silly.
It's hard to hurt stuff when you got so much love in your heart, bro.
Some of these problems might just seem a little silly, you know.
Holy
I
words.
thought you was the pastor. Damn. Hallelujah.
Preach, brother. Come on, brother.
But no, for real, you just said some real shit though, man. Like,
Yeah, man.
Cause
Seriously.
you know, in a rap game, this shit really like a dog fight. You
Yeah,
gotta
man.
be-
For real.
Yeah. Especially from us, man. We from Kzoo, bro. All we known for is the college town that we got. But there is an amazing music community that is beautiful. And you know, that's why I always talk about the Detroits, the Grand Rapids. You know, what you guys have is infrastructure and platforms.
Right.
My goal is to build community first in Kalamazoo so we can build said infrastructure and platforms, you
So
know?
like why is this so important to you to build that region of the state or that part of the state versus just focusing on what y'all got going on?
Yeah,
Like,
that's a good question. It would be easy for me to just take all my crew and we could be in Detroit every weekend and make a whole bunch of noise for ourselves. But the Kalamazoo community became very special to me. You know, I was 15 when I first came to Kzoo. I was 19 when I first moved to Kzoo. I put out of my parents' house. It was just me, you know. I was just a kid, didn't know nothing. So when I came there, I got, you know, there was a time in life for Kzoo where there was real community. You could just walk into a random party and leave with 10 friends, all diverse. You know, no one's gonna hurt you.
That's real,
You know, so I wanna build that back for the next 19-year-old kid that don't know where to go. You know, so it's important. It's really important to me.
So when you was young and coming up, who was those figures or people in that community that built that for you?
For me, I would say it was the foundation that I had in my life. You know, I have a lovely foundation with my family back home. You know, they stuck with me.
Externally, like
Externally?
going to these different venues, studio time.
It would have had to be my manager Seven. Now Seven's not with us no more, unfortunately, R.I.P. But Seven was the first person to really believe in my music, man. You know, he used to play my music for his kids. You know, he ran a company here in Detroit called M.A.A.D. So he got me my first big interview, my first 2 big festivals, my first 2 big tours. So you know, he did so much for me, but he made sure I was learning. You know, he didn't just say, show up and rap. He said, nah, bro, learn how to meet these people, learn how to network, because you finna be doing my job one day. And if only he was still here to see.
Yeah, brother. So, what's something that you would tell the next upcoming rapper anywhere? What would you tell them? What's something you can relate to an upcoming rapper right now? That's something that you can tell the upcoming rapper.
Yeah, I would tell my best advice to anybody coming up, bro, just stay authentic and true to yourself, man. No matter who you are, what you are, there are people that are gonna connect with you and know your foundation, man. That is the hardest lesson that I had to learn the hard way. Build a foundation for yourself. So when the lights turn off, you can know you can know you're not crazy or alone. These lights get really bright out here sometimes, and it gets confusing of who's really on your side and who's really not. So that's why you need to prepare before it all happens. Make sure your foundation is set. It's easy for me to get off the internet and not care about the noise so much because I got so many people around me that love me. So I really that's really, and take care of your mental and take care of your physical. So like that's the best advice I can give everybody, anybody, rapping or not. Build your foundation, man, because the world's crazy out here. For real.
What type of lessons did you have to learn to get to this point to know that type of information or to be
man. I learned the hard way. Like I said, failure breeds success, even if you breed it multiple times. I am the type of motherfucker who had to fall on his face several times to get up and be like, okay, that probably is a poor choice. So one of the lessons I had to learn is the lack of a foundation can cause you to really go crazy, bro. If you don't really know who's in your corner, man. I used to be very impressionable, I wanted to appease to what I thought people liked, And hilarious thing that's enough is that people loved me when I was just really being myself, and I never really saw it like that.
Like, so for you, how did you get into the publicist game? Like, was it just like already building connections within yourself, or creating opportunities for people within your circle?
Well, basically, it kind of was this whole domino effect of me moving out the Kzoo, starting to pop out, meet people. Over time, I ended up meeting Spivey at, what was it called?
Bar?
It was at where you had the kickback, or the first thing.
Oh, my first CSE?
Where's your girl works at?
Oh, what was that at, man? The Fiddle Leaf, right?
Yeah,
there we go, Fiddle Leaf.
And I got really interested in the whole, movement at that point. I saw potential in it, and I wanted to be involved at some point. And so I just kept showing up at little events here and there, and I talked to Spive. Eventually, he's like, join the team. It's like, where do you want me? It's a cool movement. I love music. I've been doing music since I was like born practically. So.
Yeah.
I'm not doing any music for the org, but I have a lot of perspective for our artists and stuff, and about who we kind of need and that kind of thing. And I've got a brain for content on social media and stuff, so it just kind of was like a good fit.
So like, where does that curiosity or like where were you intrigued at as far as like before you met these collective, like where were you in music that got you?
So I'm multi-instrumental. I play bass, guitar, drums, piano, and trumpet. So I haven't dropped any of my own music. I just play for fun. Now I'm working on some of my own stuff, and I'm in a band. All work in progress, but I've always loved music. It's just been a part of my life. And so seeing a music organization that's built around like empowering artists and building up communities and stuff, it just resonated with me.
So I ask every rapper this.
Okay, hit me.
What's your studio kit? Like, what you gotta have in a studio?
Yeah, man. Ain't nobody ever asked you that. I've been waiting for this stuff. so, I have to. What my studio needs are really simple. Now, we pull up to the. I'm a night owl. I go to the studio late. We pull up probably like 10, maybe 11, sometimes 8, a little earlier. I gotta stop right back at Chocolatia, see my homegirl Kira, and she hook us up with hot chocolate. Every single time. It's mandatory. She hooked me up with the velvet or the bacon, get us right, get me right in the mood. We get in there. Here recently for our recording process through Heir to the Wounds, this was the first time I opened the doors. We had groups come in, we had people come in to listen, we had lots of artists come in to give us perspective. They always set us up a couple pre-rolls on the way out, because when the final listen, I gotta be high. The final listen to whatever records we worked on, I gotta be high so I can really feel the music. So then we do that.
Hear trumpets, all type of shit.
I swear you get all the you get everything. So that's my final listen to be like, is this really good or not? I gotta give it the high listen. And then I used to do candy. I don't do too many sweets no more. I'm trying to chill on that. But water, and honey. I know that's really weird, but I use honey as it opens up your vocal cords just in case I gotta sing a little bit. Okay. So yeah, that's a little free game for you artists. I don't know if y'all know that. Now you gonna look crazy with the honey. You're gonna be like, they're gonna be like, what the fuck? But it's gonna sound like butter. I swear to God.
So what was it? What was it? The vibe like, or what was your first couple of projects like before you got to this one that we're gonna talk about?
Yeah, bro, I'm excited. Thank you for asking that, bro. So my first project was called Therapy. My first project was dropped in 2020. Now this was a project. I was young and, like I said, impressionable, and I wanted to be in. You know, this is when you listen to that album, you hear a young kid who I want what everybody else got, and they seem to be having so much fun. And I showcased that a lot in My Hunger, in that first album. I always say this, I said these 3 albums to me feel like a little bit of a trilogy. You know, Therapy was the start of wanting to be into the rap game. My Spiveyson Uncensored, which I dropped in 2024, that'll be me enjoying, you know, the rap game. That was a very pop-centric album, lots of pop record hits, lots of radio play. We Got to Get Up, that was my first nationwide tour. So, you know, that was very more superstar for me. And then, but Uncensored does leave you at the end of that album with the question, you know, can you change the world if you can't change yourself?
Right.
So Heir to the Wounds obviously would be the process of changing yourself and being better.
For sure. Yeah. What type of, like in hindsight, what type of vulnerability were you looking for in those projects, and how does that differ now with this new project?
You know, the vulnerability I wanted to showcase at the time was I'm not going to call it jaded, but I'm going to call it not enough. You know, I never really realized when you're talking about vulnerability that, you know, you being vulnerable doesn't just necessarily mean talking about what's pissing you off or talking about what's making you sad. It also includes looking internally to see, you know, what I could have done to cause these problems, maybe, you know? So those first couple of albums were me just being upset about what's going on in the world, what's going on in my life. And this Heir to the Wounds for me is you know, it's like digging the filth out of your body with your bare hands to an extent, you know? That's what I kind of really do.
What type of feedback did you get from the other projects?
The other projects were pretty cool. You know, the first Therapy was my first album. You know, we hit the college scene hard with that. So that was getting played in college parties, kickbacks, all the stuff. And then Uncensored, we doubled up. We started hitting the bars and the clubs, getting played in bars, clubs, and all that, and we were able to tour. So, you know, I think Uncensored was my biggest commercial reach. You know, we got about 105,000 streams off that album, so it's a huge win for us and a huge uptake because Therapy didn't do that much. So we could see the progression.
It was a starting
Yeah,
base.
we could definitely see the progression. And Heir to the Wounds, I'm excited because this is it's a turning point. Heir to the Wounds is nothing like these last 2 albums. So I'm really curious to see who was who's really rocking with the artistry and who was just kind of here because we was lit.
For real. So for people being on the internal team, how did y'all feel about his progression from the different albums and even going into this newer one?
Well, my perspective's a little different because it's mostly from the outside, you know, attending the events, kind of checking out the Instagram and everything. But I noticed big growth over the last just year. It's been honestly insane. And I can tell you haven't put this kind of energy into another project.
I haven't put this kind of energy, yeah, man.
Anything
It's been about 2 years in the making, man.
It's really, honestly, it's impressive what they've got going on here, and I really wanted to be a part of it. And like, I support this vision.
Baby, you
It's
here.
great. Yeah, right. I'm here.
My first 2 albums, I wasn't signed to Chasing Stars Entertainment. I was an independent artist. This is my Chasing Stars debut. This is my first solo project with Chasing Stars.
It's fire.
Yeah, my first 2 albums was just me, and I met Maverick in 2023 with mutual friends. And, you know, we was just homies at the time. We was just kicking it and being cool. It was watching Maverick progress was cool. I'm watching this guy, okay, you just started rapping. A month later, we're doing a show together. 2 months later, we're doing a festival together. It's like, I see you, bro. You climbing the ranks, man. Respect. And then I had him on my album, Uncensored. You know, we did a song, went well. I was like, cool, great. And he came to the studio, so we got to further that connection further. Right. Then when I started touring, an opportunity came up for him to open up at the Music and Arts Festival in Atlanta with me. Okay. So I was like, hey, man, you know, you've been real good to me, bro. Let's hit the road. Let's get out here and do it. And we drove, man. I'm tell you something, you all know, 12 hours in the car, but one nigga, you either gonna love him or hate him. You know, and I came back loving him. So that's what brought us into Chasing Stars Entertainment right there. Yeah, so this is my first debut Chasing Stars project. This is my first, it's a full-length solo album. It's called Heir to the Wounds. It drops February 20th. I'm really excited about this project.
Yeah, for sure.
It's gonna be big.
So like, let me get your perspective on this. What was it like being independent and then going from being signed? Like now you have like that extra care. You had that extra, you know, attention to detail with having a team versus doing it by yourself?
Yeah, it was quite the transition because I didn't just sign on as the artist too. I signed on as the CEO. So now I had to, the first thing I did when they offered me that and said, you could really lead the troops. The first thing I had to do was I was like, I got to learn how to run a business. Right. I don't know how to make raps. Right. So I took the whole year and got on YouTube and watched podcasts on businesses. I bought Pails and 48 Laws of Power and one more book. I read everything and I was like, okay, I think I can do this then. So that transition was difficult because, believe it or not, bro, I haven't always been a team player, I was always, things can only go one way, my way. So change.
No, that's real shit. A lot of people don't talk about that. When you trying to build something with somebody, you want to do things your way, they want to do things their way, but you want to kind of like meet in the middle. But then sometimes
it didn't help because I was successful in my way. So that makes it harder too. Because now somebody trying to tell me how to do things, and I'm from the perspective of when I do it this way, it works.
I already got it done.
Yeah. So it's like but. That was the hardest transition in the beginning, was learning how to delegate and learning how to let go and be like, there are other ways to succeed, more than one ways to skin a cat, and these other people's perspectives matter. So that was something that I had to turn the ego down and be like, all right, man, listening to your people, you hired them for a reason,
Yeah, hire them just for you to do everything.
Right.
And then even for you, like being on the side that you're on, more of on the public relations side, like how was it like saying like, hey, I got an idea for this, but maybe not necessarily agreeing, but having to work with a team and be like, hey, I'm willing to fit in, but hey, no, this time this is what we doing. Like,
well, so far the team, it's been really easy to work with. Pretty much any idea I shoot at Spivey, he's cool with. So I have a lot of free reign, and I kind of control my side of things, which works out great for me. A lot less of me trying to get something kind of confirmed that I can just kind of act, and he trusts me to do that.
Yeah, that was definitely. We knew Cole. I knew Cole was Cole also is very prevalent in the downtown area. So I've already watched him be great individually with people. Right. So just all I had to do is all I gotta really do is just curve when necessary. So it's really that's what I think that's what the cool thing about chasing stars is. Like I said earlier, all of us are bosses. I don't need to be the boss. I need to be a leader, Right. So, I don't need to micromanage or tell these every step. I just need to curve you guys to the right direction. You guys can go on your own, So it's really easy.
So, how many shows have you done so far?
In general, my career, or we've been working, man. I probably can't give you. We've been working, bro. If I did I started my first show was at a college party in 2020 in Grand Rapids, man. I met my boy Sumi, I love you, baby. You always get my love, man. So that was my first show ever. It was at my homegirl birthday party, man. The mics ain't even work. So I was screaming in that bitch. Right. But yeah, ever since then, we did a lot of artist showcases and open mics, which led us into doing, what was important was at every showcase, we meet the people who were running the show and let them know who I am and let them know, hey, I can do this too, I can do this by myself. I could give you guys more than just 2 songs if you like. So, that opened up the opportunity to start getting my own opportunities here in Detroit, But at that time, I was still the newbie, bro. I was doing 2-minute opening sets, man. 2 minutes
crazy.
trying to fit, I was one of the first artists in Kalamazoo to do transitions between my songs instead of just playing one song, I had to transition them. They was like, oh, that's super dope. No, it's because I got to fit a whole bunch of songs in 2 minutes, bro. I got to let them know who I am, man.
So, what's the artist you want to work with?
An artist that I want to work with in the West Michigan area, or
Period.
Okay.
If you can get your dream feature and they see this, and they like,
I want to hear this.
Okay, dream features, man. Dream features. I would love to get a record with Cole, man, especially after that fall off, bro. We could make something cool, man. I'd love to get a record with Kendrick. You guys is my inspiration. I would love to get a record with A$AP Rocky. He was, he's so cool to me.
A$AP Rocky now or A$AP Rocky back in the day?
Really?
No, I'm saying A$AP Rocky now or A$AP Rocky back in the day?
Who? A$AP Rocky back in the day.
Yeah,
100% back in the day. That's because I think that he was taking rap a little more seriously at the time. I do a photo shoot with you now, nigga. That seemed like what you want.
I mean, he got the records, Dream Girl, Kids.
Yeah, man. But if we could go there a lot, Matt always wanted to work with Mac Miller, man. R.I.P. That'd have been cool. We had the opportunity to work with DMX, man, but then he passed as well. That was huge. He had DM'd us twice and said, you could set up a show or something like like that, and then he's passed, we lost the opportunity. But those was always on my list, man. I grew up in middle school. My man Jackie Hampton played Hobson for me, man. He's an underground artist. Not too many people familiar with him, but Hobson changed me from listening to regular rap to conscious music. So that's a huge shift for me. So I would love to get that in with him. Locally, I want to work with Sonny Ski. He's in Grand Rapids. He's super dope. I want to work with him. There's a couple other artists I got my eye on in Kalamazoo and the West Michigan area. Scoob, the artist, is doing great in Grand Rapids as well. So, I got my eyes on a lot of the rappers out there, for real.
So, would you charge for a feat, or if you like the song, you'll just hop on it?
If I like the song, I'm on, bro. And that's my only qualification. I do not charge for features at all. You just got to come to me with something dope, and I'm going to look out for you. Now, if we make it big and my people want to charge you for a feature, that's gonna be their conversation. I'm not that type of motherfucker, man. I like to build, especially right now in this time period. Why would I do that? We can make money in other ways other than ripping off rappers.
No,
So like I would rather if I like you, man, I'll go in. I'll even invest in the song. We'll do a video and all that stuff, bro. I just want to make the right connections, and I want to make sure that people are good people that are ready to work.
So do you have a process of picking beats, or you just go down the list and do all the beats at one time?
We got a staff of producers at Chasing Stars Entertainment. They're always flooding our information with beats. So, I'm always playing stuff. It just depends on the energy that I like. My white boy Paul gave me some of the best advice. He told me just to always focus on the music you liked growing up. So if it gives me that feeling of being that kid in my dad's Cadillac, I'm a rap on it, and that's just how that's with everything,
That's a good. That's fire.
So like, who are the producers that are part of the collective?
White boy Paul is my lead producer. He's holding it down. He's right here. So we got another producer named Jay Stu, bro. He's killing it, man. I love Jay Stu. He's heavy in the EDM scene too, so he's able to help us cross boundaries. Then we got our young producer intern Abel. I ain't forget about you, baby. I see you out there doing your thing, man. So yeah, we got a nice group of producers and recruiting. And recruiting. Right. So yeah, it's really cool. And everybody's different. All the producers are good at different things, which is exactly what I wanted. If you're good with the drums, I don't need you to just make a beat. I need you to take the drums and put them on Paul's harmonies and then layer them with the other producers' sample. Yeah. And then now we got one beat, 3 producers, you feel me? So that's how we've been, building the system. It's going great. And all my producers, man, they got a great relationship with each other. And that's what I like about it a lot too.
All right, so we'll get into the project. How long you been working on the project? What was the first initial idea about it? And we'll start with that.
I started working on Heir to the Wounds in 2023. It's when I first made the songs. The initial ideas for the project was nothing. I was just real in a fucked up place, and I had to really just speak from my heart. Some of those songs that I wrote them in really dark places when I started working on them. And so now, within these 3 years, I've been able to just fine tune it, hate it, delete everything, fine-tune it again, hate it, delete everything, and then finally came with this project. This project was originally titled Self-RX, or the representation of self-medication, but I didn't want to lean too heavily into that because this album is it's more about healing than medicating. Right. When you medicate, you're just taking care of yourself for a certain time. Healing is a process to where, you grow from that. And that was really important to me. And I've always wanted to make a project like this because this is my first attempt at a concept album. So it tells one story from track 1 to 16. Mm-hmm. And I've always, I was inspired by the Good Kid, M.A.A.D City, To Pimp a Butterflies, the documentary about the game. I always wanted to do a project like this, but I always felt like in the world of streaming and TikTok, it would be too long form and it wouldn't be interesting. And
this is how you do.
I just said I don't care no more. I was like, I do not care. This is what I grew up on. I used to take rap music used to be 3 verses long, and I used to love it. So I don't, so I was like, you know what? I don't care, bro. I'm gonna do this, and we're gonna just do it, and we're gonna be completely honest. That was one thing about this album. I said I'm not gonna get into this album unless we tell the full truth, the ugly truth, and nothing but it. This is a very dark period in my life. This is going through 3 years of therapy. Growth, relapse, messing up, growing again, messing up again, growing again, and messing up again. So it's a really trying album, but I hope it inspires people to feel. I hope that people don't try to glorify some of the dark things that are in this album, but I hope at the end of the album they can understand that life is about perspective and everybody has to grow, change, and be better.
Did the healing process start before or during the album?
The healing process started before. The healing process is what kind of inspired the shape of the album, I'd say. Life took a turn for me at the end of my tour in 2024 personally, and I had to really reevaluate. So in doing that, and then also, you know, always got to shout it out. I also at that time in my life is when I started going to therapy. So doing that and then unmasking a lot of the trauma that I had pent up. You know, therapy. People think therapy is you sit in a room and you just start bawling and somebody hug you and you get out there. No, you know, therapy has been such a mirror for me. It's not necessarily to just tell you what's good and what's wrong, but to show you why you're doing the things you're doing. That's all that I kind of use it for. And then once you understand why you do what you do, it's easy to be like, okay, I don't want to do that anymore because the reasonings for why I do it is stupid, you know? So therapy was like lifeline throughout this whole process for me, and making Heir to the Wounds. And I'd say about a couple months after that, I started really penning down tracks. We weren't gonna make this we were gonna make this a shorter concept album because we were afraid that, you know, the long form content would scare people. But then we did a small test listening, and I was like, there's no way I can tell this story the right way if we do this 7 tracks. So we're gonna do the full 16. We're gonna roll it out, and we're gonna make this happen. You know, it's not, you know, it's like I said, it's different from other 2 albums. You know, this isn't a party album. There's not too many party records on there, but it's real and it's hip hop. You know, and this album was also inspired by a lot of it's Black History Month. I wanted to get into it. A lot of Moorish ideals and roots as well. You know, the Moors were a people and indigenous people who lived in medieval times. And, you know, in medieval times, they probably thought people that looked like us were slaves. No, and that's not necessarily the case. The Moors were kings, queens, teachers, wizards, doctors. They created things like silverware, water filtration, and things that we use to this day, right? So like, and that showed me that the Moors, you know, they built legacy for themselves. Legacy that can't nobody whitewash or take away. Right. And that's what I want for CSC. I want legacy, you know? So that's why we were really inspired by Moorish Ideals. The Wounded Soldier as a character in this album. He is a Moorish soldier that is tired of living the cycle of love, ego, hurt, and pain. And I'm really excited for you guys to see his journey from the wounded soldier to a healed warrior, you know?
So are you still like doing... Because I know a lot of people doing like the AI visuals now. So are you still shooting videos?
Yes, yeah. Okay. Nothing that you ever see from Chasing Stars Entertainment will ever be AI.
Not under my watch.
Yeah, or they're fired. Yeah, or there won't be a member of Chasing Stars Entertainment anymore. So we thrive on you know. I think that there's helpful ways that you can use AI as a research development, totally. But I don't ever see AI being used creatively. You know, you can't fake influence, man. You just can't. You know. But what was the question? I'm sorry.
So basically, I was asking, like, people have, like, AI videos. They be just regular videos. Yeah. So I was saying, do you pull up on the photographer, y'all shoot?
Yeah.
Come up with a concept?
100%. Yeah, so my first, the lead single for this album is called Blame Games Part 1. That video debuted on Instagram. That was the first time I got to write the screenplay myself, you know. So we wrote the whole script. I got a cast. It was super cool because I got to delve into my old theater roots. You know, I was a theater kid in the 8th grade. I played in plays like Alice in Wonderland. I played in Fences. So being able to tap back into that was super cool. I got more videos on the way. So it's super cool for me to delve into my artistry. You know, I've always been a rapper, but now I'm kind of transitioning to an artist, I feel like. That evolution is really cool to me.
I fuck with that.
So, like, going back to the therapy part of it, what were some misconceptions that you had before you did it, and what can you say about now that you are
participant? Yeah, you know the same misconceptions that, you know, the black households always get, you know, and I was, you know, my people and the people in my life and on me about it for years, man. I mean, you should go see a therapist, and, you know, I'm what, you know, I remember. My grandfather, I used to hang out with him, and he used to smoke cigarettes, and I'm like 8 years old, and I was like, Pops, man, you gotta stop smoking those, you're gonna die. He literally looked at me and was like, Micah, real niggas don't die.
I ain't gonna lie, that's what my granddad say too, though.
I said, what, they don't, bro? I gotta be a real nigga, bro.
Hey, for real, like.
So that, I mean, we used that, you know. My parents and my grandparents, the men in my life they were raised like the men of the time, you know. So that was such a false idea to us. Real niggas don't need therapy. Well, we take it, we handle it, and, you know. I've learned that even when I think that I got it handled, I really don't. So, you know, so like that's what, and it takes a whole nother level of man to be able to look at yourself and be like, I'm tripping. Because, you know, it's easy to point at everybody, you know, it's easy to point at everybody else, you know. I was always the type of motherfucker where the whole world could be telling me I'm wrong. That means 8 billion people are tripping, and it's not me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but so those misconceptions, they held on to me for a long time, and I guess I always recommend, you know, therapy's got to be for you when you realize that it don't work. My ideals, the things that I'm trying to do with life, the way that I perceive life, it clearly doesn't work. I end up just alienating the people close to me all the time. I end up just in a shitty position. So once I had that recollection, like, bro, whatever I'm trying to do is not working, I need help. And then once you get to that level, therapy becomes easy because you're willing to accept it. And I think that's a lot of problem with people who go to therapy is you may be in the couch, but I don't think you're really ready to accept that you're here because you need help, you know. Sure. So I think that was something for me in doing therapy. You know, when I was shaped by pride and ego as I started. You know, I'm Spiveyson, conscious rapper. I'm a school to therapist, right? That's what I was thinking. You know, so getting in there and learning that, you know, Corey don't play with me. Corey don't play with me at all. So getting in there and learning, you know, this isn't about who's right or who's wrong. This is about really just genuine help. That's you know, and I try to advocate that heavy because I feel like when people realize that, the more, you know, especially for my brothers, man, you know, the white folks 10 steps ahead of y'all. They've been using this stuff for years, you know. Y'all need to be, we're all Americans here. You guys got the same advantages, you know. So you guys need to, you know, take advantage of these things, you know. Yeah, that's why I recommend to everybody, you know. I've learned that in dealing with all different types of cultures of people, you know, there's other people don't see therapy like that. And I was like, you know, so we shouldn't either. We don't need to be the odd ones out for any reason, you know.
I feel that. So what's something about yourself that you didn't know that you learned through therapy?
Something that I didn't know about myself that I learned.
Because every time you go to therapy, you learn something new about yourself.
Something that I'm continuing to learn is that I really do not have all the answers like I thought I did, you know. I was always a problem solver. And, you know, sometimes I had to realize, I'm about to start freestyling in this bitch. I had to realize that, you know, you can't solve everything by just being so quick to fix everything. Some things take time, and allow yourself to feel, you know. I never really did that growing up, you know. I was always like, this happened, get over it. This happened, let it go.
You gotta give yourself space.
You give yourself space and time to feel and let it out, man. It's no one's gonna shame you for it, you know. It's okay. So that's a lesson. That's a lesson I'm still continuing to work on and learn. It's just let it go, you know. Let it go.
Have y'all seen changes in him from seeing his healing journey, therapy journey?
I'll be honest, I haven't been around long enough, but I've heard a lot.
Oh, I'm just glad they wasn't around me before. But yeah, it's a working process, you know, and it's just striving to maintain. I'm still there to this day, you know, so it's just striving to maintaining is that's what I learned about life. It's easy to obtain. It's way harder to maintain. So that's where my focus is at right now. You know, and then using the things that I'm learning or have learned in therapy to guide my audience, you know. So that's really important to me. I feel like the party records is fun and everything, but you know, there's a downside to that because I feel like I caused an issue in my community with thinking that that's all I represent or that's all that needs to be represented, you know. So it hurt me when I saw people getting hurt out here because of the way that I portrayed my lifestyle. You know, I was so party first, live life second that, you know, I never realized how many people may have looked up to that. And now you guys are in shitty positions because you were trying to be like Spiveyson, and I should have never led you that way, you know. Yeah. So it's really important to me that I reel people back in and get them to see that there's more to life than just, you know, nothing.
Right. So like when you were forming the project, like what were some things that you like, maybe tracks that you like that's not on this project, but tracks that you kind of maybe underrated that's gonna be on a project?
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna give y'all exclusive, man. I got a record named Cautious with my partner CSE Justo that I'm really excited for y'all to hear. It's about masking trauma through substances, whether that's ego, whether it's pride, alcohol, or even drugs. I got a record with T Money called Blame Games Part 2. I think everybody's gonna want to hear that. I'm not even gonna get into it, but it's real good. And then I got a song called Ascension that's about growth, healing, and therapy. It's amazing. This album takes place in 3 acts. It's scripted like a 3-act play. So in the beginning, you're catching the character, right in the action, you're catching the character at his worst. So you watch how he progresses to growing, stepping back and being unsure, and then to trying to change. And this person doesn't end the album healed or perfect, but he does end the album aware of what he needs to do, you know.
So do you have any videos out from the album?
I do. Yup. Blame Games Part 1 is on my Instagram right now. You can check that whole video out on official_Spiveyson. We're sitting at 33,000 views right now, so I really am grateful for you guys. And then we got more cinematic videos coming out. When on the day the album drops, I am uploading that video to YouTube, so everybody can check it out. And then we got lots of more cinematic visuals coming out, whether it's from me, whether it's from Paul, whether it's from all different types of members of the team. We're gonna be keeping you guys fed through the summer. We got a couple of pop-up shows coming up. I mentioned that to you guys. Yeah, March 7th. Yeah, March 7th, we'll be doing the Wounded Soldier pop-up. That is the first hip-hop-led show that Old Dog Tavern has had in almost 10 years. And we'll be holding it down, you know, we're hoping to get y'all down for some media if y'all free.
Where's it at?
Kzoo. Yeah.
What day?
March 7th. Yep, Saturday, March 7th, we'll be there. You guys come through. Tickets are online right now, bro, so we want to see y'all, man. Y'all better come through.
It's code Cole. All caps.
Discount Cole. Get him his revenue. So yeah, we're really excited about that. It's the first hip-hop-led show in 10 years, and we're really excited to build a creative community in Kalamazoo. So we're highlighting a lot of VIPs and creative people to come and build that community we were talking about, you know.
Sure. So like, how have you enjoyed the rollout of the album and letting people hear your music and appreciate what the art that you doing?
It's been super cool because I spent so much time away for a little while. 2024 or 2025, I was strictly the CEO. I made sure all the artists were good. I didn't drop anything. So no, it's been a while since people have heard some music from me. So I'm really excited about that. The rollout's been super cool because this is the most energy we've put into a rollout ever for any of my projects. You know, we got consistent posts. We're doing interviews every week, you know. So like we got lots of rollout material, magazine covers, all this cool stuff. It's really cool to see my music get treated good and respected like the art that it is, and it's just the first time that's ever happened in my career, and I'm really glad that people are resonating and feeling with it.
And it's dropping out everywhere, Apple Music.
Yep, it is dropping everywhere, February 20th. That's this Friday. Yep, all platforms, bro. I'm super excited. Pre-orders are out on iTunes right now, so you can pre-order that. I would really appreciate it.
Do you have a favorite song?
What?
Everybody else probably slept on.
Do I have a favorite song on this album? Yeah, there's a song called Misery.
Yeah.
That's my favorite song on the album. That song is about generational trauma and dealing with problems through your family. I assume the character of my father. I also assume the character of my older brother. So it means a lot to me, you know. So yeah. So that's my baby right there. I love Misery. That's my song.
Numbers wise, what are you projecting the project to do, or like how do you?
I try not to delve into it because it's gonna just end up stressing me out, you know. Yeah. Especially with a project like this, you know. For our last project was so radio friendly. We already knew we was gonna have a hitter. You know, we had our single on the radio. Our single debuted on the radio here in Detroit, so we already knew. We was like, this gonna be the one. We finna get lit. We in the club. We was in the club all the time. So like, for this one, it's so different and it's so personal that I'm just trying to focus on just getting it out and just letting people feel it first. You know, I'm not trying to really focus on the numbers because it'll only discourage me.
It's gonna do what it does.
Yeah, it's going. I think, you know, some albums are meant to be the big commercial successes, and I think some albums are meant to make a statement. And I feel like this. Yeah, I feel like this album. You know, I feel like it's gonna make the statement that it really needs to make, especially for Kalamazoo.
Yeah, for sure. Going into this project, like, do you feel like you had a weight off your shoulders? Do you feel relieved, or do you feel like re-energized?
When I finally finished the last song of the album, we turned all the deliverables in and I submitted it to the DSPs and they gave me a green check mark, which means everything looked good. That was it for me. That was the realization moment that this is about to happen, you know, because once you send it to those people, there's nothing you can do about it. It's coming out. You can't just take it down. It takes a week to go down. So I was like, okay, bro, you just aired out your whole family business, man. You know, so like you gotta sit with it now. I was like, it's a little too much. So like, but that realization, it was like a weight off my shoulders, man. I never really, for me, it was about reclaiming too. You know, all of that pain, all of that trauma, I was able to weaponize it and make something powerful out of it. So that's what was so fulfilling for me. You know, I don't just have to, those aren't just bad memories anymore. You know, those are lessons for me.
Yeah, for sure. Y'all represent, to me, one of the cooler parts of the state. Obviously, you just smoke some, so we already know how it is with the bud and everything out there. So, in Kzoo, Southwest, shout out to the whole Southwest. I fuck with every city. But what's a misconception about being from that area that other parts of the state or even other people in other cities don't realize?
Hey, we ain't no bitches, man.
Hell
Let's
no.
make that very clear, bro. Y'all let the white people in the suburbs confuse y'all. Some of y'all be in my DMs talking crazy, bro.
really,
I'm from
like-
the north side of Battle Creek.
It's really wild, bro. The shit some people think they're
It's like, bro, what? Bro, and that's like, respect Detroit, man. I feel y'all. I don't want to hurt nobody, but people be talking. I'll be like, bro, you can't just talk to somebody. So I wouldn't get that. And, it's not as, it is a very diverse community. And that's what people do not know. It is, I'm not just talking about black and white people. You got Burmese, you got Mexican. It is a very, and plus too, because we're in a college town in Kalamazoo, you get people who leave from Chicago to come to school there. And you get people from Detroit and Indiana. So now we're mixing regional cultures,
A lot of different types of talent,
lots of different types of talent, music, art. Art is a big thing because we have amazing artists in
Karaoke nights out there are wild, bro. It's like
Karaoke's
American
crazy.
Idol.
Yeah, man. So
All the singers
it's a
are
very,
nuts.
very talented community. It's just like I call it the little hole in the wall city.
No, seriously. It's like a big dive bar.
So like, are y'all representing the whole Southwest, Portage, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, Niles, like? Or
Yeah,
just-
man. That's I'm repping everything but Niles. I ain't repping Niles.
All two Niles residents are pissed now, bro.
Damn. Somebody from our group that's from Niles.
No, I don't know nobody from Niles.
No, hell no.
I don't know a nigga from Niles.
Well, somebody false claimed y'all at the event, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
Yeah, I guess they be doing that. I guess.
Shout out to
Wait
the fake
a
followers
minute.
at
Wait,
Niles.
no. Okay, wait a minute.
We was at
Proface from Dewajak. If he did, but he wouldn't have said that. He wouldn't have said that.
we was at Chris event. I was like, yeah, you with them? He was like, yeah, I'm from Niles. I'm like, oh, for sure.
He not from. Don't let him lie. TJ, you're not from Niles.
I don't know who it was.
If it was you, I'm gonna
He
call.
was next to me, but we was blows.
He said he's from now.
He did say he was from Niles.
He said, okay.
Somebody did. I don't know who.
He
said he was with y'all.
not from Niles, man. Because if he was from, yeah, he not from Niles. That's all I'm about to say. I'm gonna call that nigga tonight. But no, West Michigan. I feel like I represent the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah, that's my home. That's my home. We don't got no heroes over there.
accept it as
so,
is.
So I
we
claim
got.
it. I claim it 100%, man. Like, and even I was talking shit about Niles. Some of y'all cool, but some of y'all. But yeah, I love West Michigan. I love the culture that it represents. I love that it's so diverse and different from what y'all got going on. We love what y'all got going on too, but it's a different idea. We got different ideals over there, and I want to showcase that. That's a big dream of mine. You know what I'm saying?
So you being more on the public relations side, like, what can you do all of y'all can do to elevate and uplift that part of the state?
I mean, the best thing we can do is play to our strengths, which is like building connections with people with different talents. Like it's a melting pot, kind of a small scale, a lot of variety of perspectives and talents. I know a bunch of people out there. One person has like the best voice I've ever heard. Another person can like get into any computer, do whatever. Like there's a lot of diversity, like Spivey was saying, in Kalamazoo that you can really tap into. But the best way to do that is to have everybody come together.
Mm-hmm. Every week, that's the problem right now with Kzoo. Everybody's doing great. They're just doing like they're right here. He's right here. He's right here. And what we're trying to do for CSC is be like,
come together.
You guys can come together. You guys don't all got to work for me, but we should all be supporting each other. Yeah, because that's how the people who got money realize that this is special, and then they'll platform it. Right. And then now we got infrastructure, not just community, but one step at a time right now. Right now we're just really heavy on building community. We want to welcome anybody and everybody, We try to handle things differently, Like I said, when I first came to the house parties in Kzoo, I was welcomed immediately. People were like, "Hey, what's up, man? You want a fucking beer?" And I was like, "Oh my goodness, yeah, sure." So I was like, but for real, man, and I want to build that back. So we're huge on making everybody feel welcome. Yeah. Everybody, don't just walk in and sit on the wall. Come see what's up. Yeah, let's show love, man. That's what we about.
What do you really want out of music? How far do you really want to take this shit?
I just want to build a good legacy for my state, A couple years ago, if you asked me that question, I told you, I want to get the Grammy, man, be the band, and I want to help on the... But, You know, I'm 26. If it happens, it happens. But if it don't, I know I really gave this my all, you know. So I'm confident in what we do. I'm confident that we're making the right moves. I'm well aware of the fact that some things take some time. I'm well, you know, the best advice somebody gave to me is that the music industry is never about talent. It's about commitment and patience, you know. So that's what I kind of raised my life off of. What I want from music is simple. I want music to love me the way I love music, you know. I want to be able to, and I also want to be able to, for hip hop, I want to be able to keep it alive the way, because, you know, hip hop kept me alive through my life, you know, that real deal hip hop, you know, the one that challenged how you think, you know, and as we are changing generations, I just want to make sure that that's still alive, you know, and people still respect that.
For sure, I respect that. So like, from y'all expansion and like where you came from and the collective came from, like, what type of ways are y'all expansion affecting that overall community? Like, do you see the differences from when you were first starting out to now, to how people receive you in that community and benefiting the community?
Yeah, you know, the respect level is real, bro. And that's why I know we're in the right direction, because the respect level is real. When we first started doing events, we were the new kids on the block, you know. I'm seeing the progression. I'm seeing people really buy into what we're doing. And it feels really good, because it's not like, you know, it ain't like y'all buying into me. You guys are buying into the idea that we can be powerful together. And I believe in that. Whole mind, body, and soul. So, you know, to see people buy in on that in this world of ICE agents taking random people and people getting murdered, to see people who still believe in good, it's very encouraging. Yeah. It's very encouraging.
For sure. And another thing I like about y'all is y'all do give opportunity, because there was a couple people that was performing at that event that wasn't a part of where y'all a part of.
Yeah,
but y'all set up everything. Y'all brought the artists out. So like,
yeah, it's all about community. And some of those fellas, they performed for their first time ever, you know. And that's what, and I love that, you know. I had one fella that came up to me and was like, "Dude, this is my first time. I think I messed up." I was like, "To who?" I ain't noticed.
Yeah.
So I was like, everybody was nodding their head, man. Keep your head up, bro. So we're about that. I'm out, because like, we could be the Kalamazoo people, man, but I want the next Kalamazoo people to do more than us, you know? I want to build legacy for the city, you know? So I'm all about platforming. I see what's going on. Cole is always watching the social medias for me, so we're always watching for dope stuff. Yeah. Always trying to platform creative people.
Got you. So outside of the team, like, what type of features do you got on the project that's gonna drop?
I got a record with T-Money. T-Money is a rapper out of Kalamazoo. She one of the hardest rappers in Kalamazoo, man. You know, make sure y'all check for T-Money. I got a real cool record with her that's very creative and different from anything that both of us have ever done in our careers. So it's really cool to experiment and try new things. And for her to feed my energy back, that was super cool. I got another joint with my homegirl Christine Angeline. It's called With You. That's a lot more melodic. It's a new sound for me, and I really enjoy it. I got a song with no, she's on the team. And then I got my partner Lipsy, you know, Lipsy. Lipsy is on the album as well. He doesn't do a song, but he does do something really, really cool. I can't wait for y'all to hear it.
So like, is he a part of the collective as well?
No, Lipsy is a part of the MTB collective. Make Them Believe. He doing his own thing. But me and Lipsy been cool for a minute now, man. We always had that mutual respect for each other. We got a song together called Priceless, and we did a video. And ever since then, man, like, I think I pulled up at one of his shows and seen him live, and I was like, "You the man, bro." Like, ever since then, we've been locked. So Lipsy, my man, bro. We always looking out for each other. If he got an opportunity, he makes sure I'm involved somehow. And if I got an opportunity, I always try my best to involve him.
We seen it firsthand at the performing at the
exactly. Yeah, Lipsy is always one of the first people I call, bro. He great dude.
For sure. So like, how you feel like this project gonna turn up the city, man? We done already.
I think that it's going to be quite a shift, but I think that in this world right now we really need it. I think that people are gonna really resonate with this stuff, and I think that like timing is just everything. This is a very good timed album. I'm really excited for you guys to hear it. This is me at my most vulnerable. This is me going through the wide spectrum of human emotion, you know, and really just digging within myself. So I really hope that it inspires people to feel, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So we talked about the features outside of the collective. Who's featured? Is everybody featured?
No. I tried to, because, you know, I got songs. I had songs with some of the artists on CSC already, and I tried not to, like, if I've already done a song with you, let's give it a little grace period, because I try not to repeat that same thing. So actually what I did was I worked with all the people who I've never worked with in CSC for the first time. So that brought me to doing the interlude with White Boy Paul. That's amazing. It's going to be real special. Then I got a record with CSE Justo. He is the president of operations for CSE. We and him never had a record together, so it's really cool to get one in. And then I got to do a debut record with Liz Johnson. This is her first record, you know. Okay. So being able to do that for the first time with her, man, that's super dope, man. I loved it. Sure. So yeah.
So like with y'all being influential in that part of the state, do you feel like the album will shift how certain artists and creatives make their music instead of just being the turn up records? Like we know a lot of Kzoo, a lot of artists from our area have those type of songs, but that vulnerability and that other side of music, like do y'all think y'all shifting how that area is going to be seen?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential for that, especially with how this performance is being approached. Because it's not just a concert, you know, it's a whole screenplay. It's an event. You're there to really be immersed in a whole story. And it's not that nobody's ever done that, but I think just to the scale of how it's being put onto a stage and the community aspect of bringing that all together with basically a lot of volunteers at the end of the day. We're all just volunteers who do this shit for the love of the game. So it's gonna be cool, and I think it could totally shift things.
Yeah, I wanna challenge the way that the rappers and artists move around Kalamazoo. You know, it's been getting, it's a little redundant for me right now, and I wanted to do that. I wanted to make an album that was intentional and that had direction, so it could challenge the way these other artists move. You know, and I wanted to do a screenplay for the show that was intentional, that was organized, that was structured in a way to where the next time you do your show, you're gonna have to step it up a little bit. I want that. I don't want that because I'm just an asshole. I want that because I know y'all can do it. Right. You know, I want that because I want to challenge y'all. This ain't no disrespect. This is. I know y'all got it in y'all, and come step up to where I'm coming because I got you.
Got you.
You have a favorite song on the album?
I won't let them hear it. Yeah. I've been playing for them tonight. I haven't heard it yet. Yeah. I've been keeping it close to my chest because we got some motherfuckers that's been leeching off of us. I ain't gonna say too much, but I've been keeping it close to the chest. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play it for you tonight, bro.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So I'll make sure he let y'all know.
Just tag us in the story when you figure out your favorite song.
All right. Will do.
But yeah, super excited. Pre-orders for Heir to the Wounds are out on iTunes right now. Our show is March 7th. It's also the first time I'm performing those records. Okay. So I'm super duper excited to give a new story to those records.
So is that your listening party, or are you having a listening party?
I'm not. This is a full scale production. You know, so because this was the first hip hop led show in Kalamazoo. We went all out in community. So lots of those artists, you know,
Old Dogs.
We have about 13 artists, and then our CSE artists coming on. So this is all about building community and, you know, celebrating the unity that is found in the album, you know. Right. So I wanted to do something special, you know. It was really inspired by Kendrick Lamar's pop-out concert he did last year for LA, you know. So I wanted to do a very small underground version of that.
Yeah, for sure. So like you going on tour? After these set of shows?
Man. We've been working some things out. Getting the brand off the ground is really important to me too. But I'm definitely trying to hit the road a little bit. You know, I definitely want to ship this album out to different cities. You know, last album we did the big nationwide tour. We was gone, so that was really successful. So, you know, I'm really interested in. I want to do it in a creative way though. If we're gonna do it, you know, if we're gonna do it, we got to find a way to do it creatively, and then obviously we got to make some money while we out there. So we are in the middle of working on some things because we got a lot of people that want to, you know, they want to see us live too. So we want to make sure we're appeasing. We don't want to be assholes. We want to make sure that we're appeasing y'all too. So right now we're routing something. I would encourage everybody to come to the pop-up show on the 7th first, but then stay tuned because even if we don't do a multi-nationwide tour, what we're thinking about doing is doing something regional and just doing multiple pop-up shows for the state of Michigan. So that is one tidbit I'll give you guys, but
tap in with me.
We're working.
Shit, even Canada for real.
Even Canada, yeah. We was just talking about going to Canada the other day, but you know, I didn't think about this. You know, we could have. I'll tell you off mic, honestly.
Off the record.
Off the record.
What countries, when you look up your analytics, what countries actively listen to your music?
I got my top 3 is the U.S., Canada, and a country in Africa. Yeah, so I'm coming. I'm coming. It's only 2 of y'all in Africa, but I am
Y'all are
coming.
real. For you.
I swear. Yeah, but we get most of our love here in Detroit. Actually, most of our love comes from here. Because when I was doing my tour with the whole 2-minute thing, it was here around the Detroit area, Ypsilanti, this whole circuit. I did that 3 times. So we built most of our base here. Then the second base comes in Kalamazoo. Third base comes in Grand Rapids, and then our fans shift out the state to like down south and some of the other places we've toured at. So they're small, but they're powerful, man. Very powerful.
Put y'all CEO hats on. What are y'all looking for when y'all sign artists? Or because I'm pretty sure you guys assign artists requires managing them or assigning them directly to the label or a little bit.
So the cool thing about Chasing Stars Entertainment, and this is just me from the CEO perspective, all of the artists on CSC move independently still. We're not a rap group or nothing like that. I try to give as much independence to the artists as possible and only step in when they need me. So I guess what I would look in for as an artist when we start signing artists, we haven't really signed artists yet because we want to get our main roster on the floor. But when we do plan on start signing artists either later this year or early next, and what we'll be looking for is consistency. What I will be looking for is consistency, compassion, and communication. And longevity too. Like I said, patience is a real game. So I want to know if you drop an album and it don't work, you still gonna want to do this. So that's what I want to know. And then you got your qualifications.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit a lot of what I think about. I'm looking for somebody with a vision because I'm looking at what they're posting, not just like what like the content is, but like is there something encompassing all of this, like rather than just throwing stuff on the wall hoping something goes viral. Like I want to see somebody who can really kind of fit into the kind of thing we've got going on here.
He's not easily
With true
impressed.
passion. No.
I am. If you sell me enough dream, you can sell me a dream. I might bite. But I got him, so you can be like, Spive that nigga lying. He don't say it like that though.
I promise I don't. I was like, really, bro?
Nah, he tripping.
You're wild for that, bro.
I looked to the left, I saw your skin. I was like, no, wait, he doesn't say it like that.
Trying to get me canceled before I even get started.
So like, is it a opportunity where maybe you don't sign an artist, but you manage them?
Well, what we've been doing lately is I'll reach out to somebody and just kind of get that line of communication going so that if there's something that we feel like they could be a part of, that just opens up the doors for opportunities that we can explore down the line.
Right.
For now. I mean, that could evolve into something else as time goes on, but that's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
So do y'all get a lot of DMs and people asking y'all to sign them now?
A decent amount, yeah, definitely. I've gotten a lot. I've been sending out ticket links, and the people are like, "Can I be in the show?" Which I love the energy. That's the type of shit we like to hear. So I mean, those people all say, "Hey man, let me check out your stuff. We could probably figure something out down the line. Maybe there's another event where we could get you in, something like that." Okay. That's the energy we're looking for. Is people who are eager. I'm not even thinking about that. The show's in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We're not gonna squeeze.
I would have to foot you in.
That's the energy we want.
I just want to perform. Hey.
But you want to perform something.
We didn't even think about it. They just got the passion. That's what we want.
We can handle the thinking.
Yeah.
Just give me the passion.
Seriously.
Shout out to bro. Come on, camera.
Come on, Paul.
Oh, get out of here, bro. Come on, man.
Hey.
White Paul on deck.
You the producer, right?
I guess you could say that much.
When you make beats, like, do you go for like samples, or how do you come up with the beats? Like,
So I'm not gonna lie, bro. I kind of caught Spive's eye when I made beats, bro. Samples is my main game, bro, and it's not just no like samples you find on that mainstream shit.
Yeah.
I grew up in the. I basically am an old soul to most people.
Yeah.
I grew up with the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s era in my mind. I got like samples from the Temptations, old movies called like the Blues Brothers, all that shit. Like anything that's old, I've probably used it. And I don't know how, but anytime I'm working on shit, I feel like I'm able to make something insane that I'm just like, yeah, Spive can rap on this, bro. Like Spive can fucking kill this.
6 in the morning on a FaceTime call.
Yeah, nah, like, and I'll send him shit out of the blue too. Cause like I've got beats sitting on my computer I didn't even know I had. Like he was showing us the album one time, and I was like, oh wait, I got this sitting here.
And I was like, where was this for the album?
Yeah, nah. He turned around. He said, wait a minute. Why ain't you never showed me this?
Right. Well, damn it.
It's like a vision.
Yeah, bro. No,
How did y'all link up?
We linked up through Mav and Profane. They knew him, and they was like, "Hey, bro," because I had just signed to CSC, had hired like my first 3 people, and they had said, "Hey, man, we got this super talented 19-year-old kid, and we want him to come be a part of CSC." And I said, "Fuck no, I'm not managing no child." and then TJ called me, and was like, "Dude, he's serious, man. He for real." And I said, "Fuck no, I'm not managing no child." And then it was like, we go into the studio, and it was his studio, and I got to have the real one-on-one and get to really talk to him and be like, oh, this is a man in a child's body. I can work with that.
They basically sat me down. They were like, yeah, record this song for us, and it was basically an on-the-spot test.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't even know it was.
And he didn't know. Yeah, he was sitting there just being himself. I'm sitting there taking notes.
So like, how long you been producing, and what inspired you to produce? A lot of people want to be rappers.
Man,
the producers and the engineers, they play the most important
I've got
part.
this story like rehearsed now. When I was 5 years old, I was leaving my kindergarten class. I swear to God, my dad stopped dead in his tracks. He looks over to this billboard. It says, "Oh yeah, piano lessons." And I'm 5 years old. I'm in kindergarten. I'm not looking to be no fucking crazy piano player or anything. I'm still learning how to fucking color in the lines. Like, so I get forced into piano at 5 years old. Next thing you know, I love it. And then I got a gaming computer around like 14 years old. Never played a damn game on it. The first thing I did was download music software, acted like I knew what I was doing, didn't know what I was doing for like the first year. And then I was like, all right, let's lock in.
Yeah.
Homie helped me figure out like the basics. And next thing you know, I was just doing that shit every day, any chance I got.
No, for sure. So to tie it back to the album, like how many tracks did bro produce on it, and what part did he play?
Paul is the executive producer on the album. So Paul has been with me through the whole process of making the music. You know, from track 1 to track 16, I've leaned on him, and he's leaned on me, bro. So you know,
we've been sitting through it.
Yeah, so a lot of pain.
Thick and thin, bro.
How you feel about the project from your perspective?
Dude, when I originally had heard the concept of the album and then heard the first couple of songs the first time we were in the studio, I originally thought, I was like, this is like some Tyler the Creator type shit. This is like some Chromacopia type vibe. Like, and it was just like how the Chromacopia type vibe, he's talking about his dad, he's talking about his past relationships. I immediately caught that and I was like, damn, Spive's doing this, but in a completely different vibe. Yeah. And it's a completely different perspective. And I feel like that's what's going to throw off everybody, or that's what's going to set him aside from everybody else in the competition and make him really pop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I'm really proud of what we was able to do with this album, because it's one of those albums where the more you listen, the more it reveals to you. You know, we start the album off right into the middle of the action, but you know, I know most people they looking for the tea. You know, they're looking for the business and all that, but you get the tea. But you gotta earn the tea.
Right.
You gotta listen to 16 tracks. You feel me?
I feel like
you gotta go through the pain.
Yeah, for real.
For sure. But thank you for being a great guest, man.
Yeah, bro. I'm so glad that we was able to come out here. Yeah. CSC has more artists, so we will be back.
Y'all great, man.
We got CSC Mav. He coming. He dropping his project this summer. So I'm pretty sure we gonna get him on the press.
You think you doubling up this year?
No. You know, usually I always come back with a tape or something and, you know, give the fans what they want. But, you know, this took a lot out of me, man. Yeah. You know, and I don't want other music to dilute strength of this message. Right. So I'm gonna let it sit for a little while, and I'm gonna work on being the best CEO I can be. And you know, you might hear me on Mav's album if y'all lucky. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. I never can tell what I can never tell what music. CEO, I know I'm gonna show up to work every day. Right. With music, I might take a month off, or I might work all year. I don't know. That's how I'm feeling.
No, I feel that. So you think you're gonna go on a year run for this, for the whole rollout?
Yeah, we're pushing this through. We got a couple of public appearances coming up soon. We got pop-up shows. I'll be working all year for this, and then I'm gonna go on vacation.
That boy tired.
Socials out, man.
Yeah. You can follow me at official_Spiveyson. You can go ahead. I'm gonna let you all do y'all thing.
Cole.Mosqueda, Mosqueda. I'm the publicist. I run the social media for CSC.
You can find me on Instagram at whiteboypaul. I mean, I don't just produce for CSC. I produce for anybody, man. Like you want good vocals, you want good mixing and mastering. Hit me up, bro. Let me know. We got a studio out in Vicksburg, Michigan, bro.
Worth it though. Worth
the drive, bro.
Worth it though.
Yeah,
And then you
bro.
can also
you out in the boondocks with it. You out in the boondocks with it, but that's where you gotta go to get something good.
Hey, best acoustics is in the motherfucking woods.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And you can follow all of us at Chasing Stars HQ and official.csc. That is our brand pages as well.
And hey, if you're an artist, you got talent, you want to do something, hit the DMs.
Hit the
we
DMs,
can talk.
man.
You'll be talking to me.
Talk.
Real.
Oh, what's your question, Brody?
You answered my question.
Oh, it is? Oh,
That's great.
No, for real though. No, we appreciate y'all coming out, man. We respect
bro,
your
we
grind.
appreciate y'all having us.
We've been locked in for a minute now. I've seen y'all perform. I've seen y'all bring the energy, and we like the music is great. The visuals is great, but a lot of the times the artists, they just like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do the song, and then they don't fuck with each other after the fact. You still turning up when even Mav is just performing. Everybody turning up when you just performing, and the whole like collective.
man. Yeah, it's a movement.
We here for everybody, not just ourselves.
Exactly. Well, like I said, man, empowering artists, elevating communities, the more we shine, everybody gonna glow. That's what we want, and that's all we want.
No, for real, I feel that. Any other shout outs y'all want to give out?
Shout out to the crew, Chasing Stars Entertainment, everybody back home. I know y'all see us. We got a very diverse group of hard-working individuals. Shout out to the amazing team at Chasing Stars. There's a group of 20 of us now. We really appreciate y'all.
Shout out Old Dog Tavern. That's my home away from home right there.
Hey.
Shout out Louis. Shout out Alley Cat. Those are the bars that do karaoke at. I'm a KJ. That's how I keep the lights on.
Man, shout out my mom and dad, yo.
What's up, Wendy?
Nah, for real.
And then shout out to my family and my foundation back home. You guys are always lifting my spirits and keeping me to want more of myself, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Well, y'all been some great guests, man. We appreciate y'all coming to the platform.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Definitely got to run it back.
Yeah, man, it was worth it, bro.
Gonna have to have y'all out of the show again.
Yeah, absolutely. And the next time I'm gonna book the hotel one more extra night. I'm gonna book a hotel closer so I can get high with y'all.
Yeah,
For sure.
So I can walk home. Yeah.
But no, it's been Smoke Sun Podcast, the visionary mind. I see it, I think it, I make it happen. Got Doggy Ball with me in the cut, man. Spiveyson.
You know it. Kzoo's good. Detroit was good. Peace.
Peace.